Akanishta itself is the consciousness of the three here.
Say it again.
The Sambhogakaya, the Akanishta, the environment, and the consciousness are the three mentioned here.
Okay, no. So it's as for all-knowing, they go no. The great and mighty one, supreme abode, Akanishta. So that is the, not the Akanishta, is the Buddha in the Akanishta. Akanishta is the realm. Akanishta is the one of the heavens, where the Sambhogakaya resides. So the great and the mighty ones, that is emphasis. Great and mighty one, supreme abode, great and the mighty. Great and the mighty, who is that? Sambhogakaya. So who resides in this, the Akanishta, that is explicitly taught, that is explicitly mentioned, which is the one of the Rupakayas. Then what is the other Rupakaya? Nirmanakaya. And then the Dhatu. So Dhatu, you can see that in two forms. One's consciousness. Which consciousness? Proliferating with the nature. You're getting it? Proliferating. So these three, we see that it is just fused into one. When you become pure, this same Dhatu manifests in the form of enjoyment body. The same Dhatu manifests in the form of the emanation body. You're getting these three things. 58. As for knowing all among the childish, the diversity among the noble, and the great and mighty infinite in time. What is the cause of time in aeons? Okay. So, when you become enlightened, how you manifest? You manifest in different forms. The one, as for all-knowing, knowing all amongst the childish. For the ordinary people, for example, like the way Buddha Shakyamuni appeared. Where the Buddha Shakyamuni appeared, it's not that everybody where the Buddha Shakyamuni was going around, everybody's very educated. No, that's not true. They're very simple peasants, farmers. So, for the ordinary people, for all knowing, as for knowing all meaning, you should be better with all knowing. Knowing all among the childish. Childish meaning the ordinary people. For the ordinary people, when you become Buddha, you manifest in the form of somebody. Okay, you have this problem. You should be solved like this. So you manifest yourself as somebody who's all knower, somebody who knows all phenomena, right? And then they just seek advice from you. Okay, and then the diversity amongst the nobles. Okay. For the noble meaning, those who are in the Arya beings like Gade, Paragate, when they reach the Paragate level, for them just a simple advice is not required. For them what is required is the meditative experiences, multiplicity of the meditative experiences. So the diversity of the meditative experiences. Diversity of the meditative experiences, meditative concentrations, is manifested for the noble beings, for the very advanced practitioners, the Aryas. And the great and mighty infinite time. So the great and mighty, so they are, where I'm looking at the commentary, it refers to the Amitayus, the Buddha Amitayus, with the long-life Buddha. Okay, so, and the great and the mighty. So they exist, long life meaning the life is infinite. Life is infinite in time. Infinite in time. What is the cause of time in eons? So for example, when you become enlightened, you're able to manifest yourself as all-knowing for the ordinary beings, as with the incredible skills and meditative concentrations for the Arya beings. And how long do you do that? For how long do you display these qualities? Infinitely. So how come that you have this, there must be the cause for somebody to be able to do that, this amazing thing during infinite time. There must be a corresponding cause. What is that cause? What is the cause of time in eons? So the cause is your realization, final manifestation, realization of the Dharmadhatu. When that is done, then the magical things can happen. Okay, 59. For sustaining the duration during eons truly infinite of all beings, outer realms, and for creatures life force to remain. This is what is the inexhaustive cause. Okay. So now the opposite. For sustaining the duration during eons truly infinite of all beings, outer realms. Outer realms here meaning, say the beings, say the beings outside the enlightened beings. Who are those who are outside the enlightened beings?
Us?
Who are the beings who are outside the enlightened beings?
Samsara.
No, samsara, they we. Right. Okay. So we have been in, where are we now? In samsara or in the Afghanistan? Samsara. For how long we have been in samsara? Infinite. Again, there must be reason why we live infinitely. The Buddhas, they manifest this good qualities infinitely, and we also infinitely stay in samsara. Right? What is the cause of that? For sustaining the duration during eons truly infinite of all beings outer realms, meaning that we the ordinary beings who are outside the enlightened beings, and for creatures life force to remain, and then we have been surviving all these infinite, the eons and eons in samsara, right? Say, and for creatures life force to remain, our life force remain in samsara, and so long. This is what is the inexhaustible. What is the cause of that? Is not realizing the Dharmadhatu. For us, the cause of the inexhaustive, right? Inexhaustive cause for us to remain such a long time is because of our not realizing the Dharmadhatu. For the Buddhas to manifest all these wonderful activities endlessly is because of realizing the Dharmadhatu. Okay, now 16. In that whose fruition is inexhaustible, through the special trait of non-appearance, engaged in full for the wisdom's sake. Okay, so in that whose fruition is inexhaustible, through the special trait of non-appearance. Now, say when each one of us, when a Dharmadhatu becomes manifest, it comes to fruition. Then the results, the fruition results, they become inexhaustible. Buddha's activities, they become inexhaustible. What? Through what? Through the special trait of non-appearance. Through what? Through discovering the dhatu. Dhatu, when you speak about the dhatu of the two, natural, the proliferating Buddha nature and the natural Buddha nature. Of the two, when you speak about, we have to know this, referring to the natural Dharmadhatu. So, by knowing when you know the national Dharmadhatu, then what do you see? What are the different signs you see? Signs meaning, for example, okay, this is girl, this is Shahala, this is okay, this is Benny, okay, this is Benila, this is Jamila, this is okay. So like this. So when we these different things do we see in the experience of the natural Dharmakaya, natural Buddha nature? You don't experience that. So we are seeing the bare reality there. In that bare reality, all these distinctions are not there. These distinctions exist where? Only on the subjective level. Don't say in the mind, right? On the subjective level. So the subjective level can be on the conventional level, subjective level, right? Okay, I wish we have another at least 10 days so that conventional, subjective, all can be explained so well, right? Okay, that's correct. On the conventional level, on the subjective level, okay. So it says that through the special trait of non-appearance, all these distinctions don't appear when you get direct access to the dhatu, Dharmadhatu, right? So therefore, this is the reality. So therefore, what we should do, engage in full for wisdom's sake. So therefore, what we should be doing, the advice given is that we have to engage fully in the wisdom's sake, for the wisdom's sake. Which wisdom? Wisdom to see the emptiness of your own mind. Wisdom to see the emptiness of all phenomena. This is the effort that we need to put in. 61. Don't think enlightenment is far away. Okay, we're done with this. And don't conceive of it as close by. With the sixth floor objects not appearing, it is awareness of reality just as it is. So the enlightenment, whether it is far, it's not really far away, right? If you know the dhatu, and this is the enlightenment. And if you don't put effort to know the dhatu, then the enlightenment is not near, it's very far away. Okay, so then what exactly is this enlightenment? So that is with the sixfold objects meaning all the six subjects, six mediums. What are the six objects?
Sense objects.
Sense, not necessarily sense objects.
Sights.
The sights.
Sound.
Sights, smell, taste,
sensation,
tactility, and the mental phenomena. Okay, so these six objects not appearing. These six objects do exist. They do exist, but when you have that access to the dhatu, so there, all these appearance distinctions of the six objects, they dissolve. So when that happens, it is awareness of reality just as it is. This is awareness that we need to cultivate, stabilize. That will eventually become the enlightenment. 62. Just as from a mix of milk and water that is present in a vessel, geese just sip the milk but not water, which remains just as it is. Okay, now what should be the advice given here is, but there's so many things to be done, right? There's so many things to be done. I have to go on holiday, and then there's so many things. Okay, then we have to change the table, and then okay, there's so many things to be done, right? I should think of becoming a lawyer. I should think of the younger ones, right? Some of you think of becoming a lawyer, think of becoming an engineer, think of becoming a medical doctor. There are so many things to be done, right? Okay, what should we do? It says that no doubt there are innumerable things to be done. Finally, ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want? I want fearlessness and I want the maximum happiness. If this is what you want, then choose what can give rise to these two things. Be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself means give yourself what you want. I want fearlessness and I want the maximum happiness. This is the meaning of be kind to yourself. The next, be wisely kind to yourself. So how to get this fearlessness and how to get this infinite happiness? Through resorting to their respective causes, not resorting to the opposite of the causes. That is, be wisely kind to yourself. So, if you want fearlessness, what should we do? Go for the wisdom of emptiness. If you want infinite happiness, what should you do? Go for the unconditional love of bodhicitta. Right? So these two things are the priority. So we say milk and the water mix, the geese will just drink the milk and leave the water. Likewise, there are innumerable things in our life. And we have to know which to pick up and which to discard. We cannot do everything, right? Okay, this is a very important message for us. It doesn't mean to stop working, so now we have to work on emptiness, right? No, be very practical. In order even for you to study, practice, reflect, meditate on emptiness, we need to survive. We need some sort of living, right? And then, being in a community, there are so many obligations. All these obligations must not be missed. For example, as parents, you have your children. You have to take care of your children. And as children, you have your parents. Take care of your parents. These are all the... If you just discard all your responsibilities, and finally, right, say by following all these paths, so what? So that I can achieve the maximum happiness. Maximum happiness means manifest the conditional love. Where is the love? Even the immediate circle you have discarded, the very small love that you have, even that is discarded. So we are going to have the infinite love. You're getting it? So this the infinite love. For that, We need to have the love that you already have to your immediate family that must not be missed. That is so precious, and you have a responsibility for young children. For your young children, we should make sure that they grow, to some age like 16, 17, 18, that they become self-sufficient. And your elder parents, make sure that they are taken care of. This is so important. And particularly Buddha emphasized the need to take care of one's parents. This is so much emphasized by the Buddha. So if this is what we miss, then what is unconditional love? It's just theoretical. It doesn't really seep into your being. So it's so important to make sure that your basic responsibilities are not missed, and there are many other things, many other trivial things there, which you really don't have to attend, right? So this we can discard. Some important things like taking care of children, taking care of a wife, taking care of a husband, taking care of parents and so forth. That is very important. These are not to be compromised. So along with this, then the remaining time that we have, focus on the studies, reflection, meditation. So this is the meaning of stanza 62. Just as from a mix of milk and water that is present in a vessel, geese just sip the milk but not water, which remains just as it is. Just so, being covered by afflictions, wisdom dwells within this body, one with them, but yogins just extract the wisdom and leave the ignorance behind. But, okay, that's simple. 64. As long as we still cling to eye and mind, we'll conceive the outer things through this. But once we see the true selflessnesses, the seeds of samsara will come to an end. Okay, the two selflessnesses, the commentators, they explain this slightly differently. The two selflessnesses in the form of selfless of person and selfless of phenomena. This is one way of understanding it. And another is the selflessness of the I and the selflessness of mind. Selflessness, okay, one. So one commentator says, as long as we still cling to I and mind, right? I to be objectively real, mind to be objectively real. So these two bind us into samsara. So therefore we have to see the emptiness of the I and emptiness of the mind. This is what one commentator said. Another commentator said, just directly, selflessness of person, selflessness of phenomena. There is no contradiction. How there's no contradiction is that first when we say that I'm important. When I becomes very important, you grasp the self to be so solidified, objectively real there, then, okay, this is my flower, this is my country, this is my, then the my comes with being. So this my is the phenomena other than the I. So I, that is a person, and the phenomena other than the I, that becomes the phenomena. So selflessness of the person, selflessness of phenomena. Okay. But once we see the two selflessnesses, the seeds of samsara will come to an end. Once we see these two the selflessness of person and selflessness of phenomena, then what happens? That the self-grasping ignorance is cleansed. When that is cleansed, the samsara comes to an end. Then you see that you wake up from the sleep of ignorance. When you wake up, you come out of the dream cannot affect you. The dream cannot affect you. Likewise, you see the true selflessness so clearly, then you proceed through gate, para samgate, bodhiswaha. So where the self-grasping ignorance is gone rid of fully, then you are out of samsara. You are out of the dream. Okay. The seeds of samsara will come to an end. 65. Since it is the ground for the Buddhahood, nirvana, purity, permanence, and virtue too. Okay, the two are fabricated by the childish. The yogins abide in the absence of the two. Okay, so what is that here is little the interesting. Since it refers to the nirvana, or it refers to the freedom from the dhatu. Okay, so this dhatu is the ground for the Buddhahood and nirvana. This dhatu is the ground, is the basis. Finally, that we achieve Buddhahood, we achieve nirvana, is because that there is this dhatu there. So this dhatu, since it it refers to dhatu. That is the ground for the Buddhahood and the nirvana. And the purity, permanence, and virtue too. Okay, so the commentators, there's a slight variation there, but I'd like to explain directly according to this translation. The purity, so this dhatu, when you experience it fully, when you experience it, then the impurities like the afflictions, they dissolve. We see that the purity comes out. Purity, permanence, and then this dhatu, what you experience as a dhatu, so that is permanent or impermanent. It is devoid of impermanence, that is permanent. And then of course that is the best of the virtue. That dhatu is the best of virtue. Virtue is experience of which will give you the greatest of the peace. This dhatu will give you the peace if you realize it. The two are fabricated by the childish. The two are fabricated meaning that in this dhatu, do you see samsara and nirvana? When you subject the ultimate, when you subject anything to ultimate analysis, in that experience, do you see samsara, nirvana, duality there? Do you see that? You don't see that. So whereas we see, oh, this samsara, this nirvana, this is good, this is bad, this duality was created by the childish. The two are fabricated by the childish. The duality of the samsara and nirvana, that is created by the childish, not really childish, childlike, that's better. Childlike. The yogins abide in the absence of the two. The yogins who see the dhatu, they will see that this duality is objectively not there. It's just how our mind conventionally creates, how our mind subjectively creates this distinction. Okay, tell me, the samsara and nirvana, is there the duality, is there the difference or not?
Yes. Depends on conventionally.
No, for you, the difference is there or not?
Yes.
Yes, they're different. When you say yes, we are the childlike.
Yeah.
Right? Because we are using the conventional analysis.
Mm-hmm.
With this conventional analysis, there's a distinction there. You're getting it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The yogins abide in the absence of the two. So how can you, and who are these yogins?
Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Okay, each one of us, when we reach that level, don't think of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Don't talk like this. It's so like, we cannot achieve that. When we realize Dharmadhatu, when we cognize the dhatu, at that point, we become the yogis. We become the yogis. In what way? We are able to subject samsara nirvana into ultimate analysis. From this ultimate analysis, so this distinction of the samsara nirvana dissolves. So you see the abide in the absence of the two. Okay. Okay. So with this now, once you do say, from what we've learned thus far, we might get the impression, finally it is our job to realize the emptiness, the Dharmadhatu, right? Okay, no need of accumulation merit, no need of prayers, no need of early morning getting up. In the bed we can think of the Dharmadhatu, everything's Dharmadhatu. No, that's not that easy. To build a house, we need all the things like scaffolding and the workers, the place for the workers to stay, small shops for the workers to do a little bit of shopping here and there, and the water, the access to the water for the workers. All these details are required. Likewise, to really get access to dhatu, what we need to do is we need to engage in the bodhisattva practices. So this morning, when we took the aspiration bodhisattva vow, what we said is that how these Buddhas, they become Buddhas today is because of two reasons. What are the two reasons?
They realize that.
No, this morning what did we say? Okay, this morning, Buddhas, Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. We recited the two stanzas, right? You remember? So what's the meaning there? just as previous Buddhas had generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the bodhisattva activities. Two things. Right? First, how they become a Buddhas is because initially they were as ordinary as what we are today. They were not enlightened beings. They were as ordinary as what we are today. How come that they're Buddhas now? Because of two things. One, initially they generated a very strong determination to become Buddha. I must become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. What is that generation known as? Generation, the desire to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. What is that known as? Bodhicitta. They generated very strong bodhicitta, number one. Then, after generating bodhicitta, then what? Just as the previous Buddhas generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices. After, say, making commitment, I will become Buddha. How will you become Buddha? I should practice the bodhisattva path, or I should engage in the bodhisattva practices. What are the bodhisattva practices? 6 perfections, 4 perfections, 10 perfections. You getting it? 10 perfections. Okay. So it is not that I just want to see dhatu, but in order to really see the dhatu very clearly, it must be accompanied by the practices of the 10 perfections. Okay. So the 10 perfections are being indicated here. Stanza 66. Generosity, the first one. Okay, what are the 6 plus 4? 6 perfections primarily for your cultivation. 6 perfections primarily for your cultivation. You have to grow. Then the 4 perfections primarily to cultivate others. You getting it? The 6 perfections primarily for your own cultivation. You have to grow. And the 4 practices, the four perfections, the remaining 4 perfections are primarily for the cultivation of others. Okay.
This is different from the 4 ways of amassing disciples, right?
Say it again.
There are 4 ways of amassing disciples.
No, it's very different. Okay, let's listen first. Right? It's huge. This is not the same. It's very different. Okay, 6 perfections plus 4 perfections. There are so many. The word 4s. 4 perfections. The 4 means to gather the disciples. The 4 noble truths. Right? And the 4 immeasurables. The 4 essentials. 4 seals. There's so many 4s. Simply because there's a 4, don't jump to 4 noble truths. Right? There are so many 4s. Okay, so the 6 perfections and the 4 perfections. The 6 perfections for what? For primarily cultivating yourself. You to grow. And the 4 perfections primarily to cultivate others to grow. Right? Okay. So what are the 6 perfections? Generosity, ethical discipline, patience, joyous effort or enthusiasm, meditative concentration, wisdom. Okay, 6 perfections. Very good. And the 4 perfections? Skillfulness, aspiration prayers, power, discriminatory wisdom, or discriminatory wisdom is better. Discriminatory. Okay, let's say the one is the skillfulness, then the aspiration prayers, power, discriminatory wisdom, the 4. Okay, so the first 6 are primarily for your own cultivation, and the remaining 4 are primarily for the cultivation of others. Okay, how? So finally, first the set of the 6. Set of 6, the 6 perfections. This is very important. How? It is for the cultivation of the self. Cultivation of self. Okay, we have to go till 78. From 78 is easy. Okay. Okay, to cultivate oneself. Finally, what does it mean to cultivate oneself? That one's mind should grow. That one's mind should grow from ordinary stage to the gade, to the next gade, to the paragate, parasangate. This is how we should proceed. This is how we grow. Okay. For that matter,